so we're gonna find a little bit of our backside today. All right, you're gonna need a band of some sort, or a towel. If you don't have a band at home, grab a t-shirt or a towel. It'll work in the same way. So let's bring ourselves all the way down to the floor. All right. When we get ourselves down, you're gonna feel that your heels are pretty much in line with your sitting bones, right? Those are those bony things you feel on your backside. We've got a nice bend at the knee. We're folded at the hip. We're pretty level across the pelvic bones, pelvic bone to pelvic bone. We have our dip, ribs are heavy, shoulders are relaxed. All right, so we're gonna start by taking a nice big breath in. When we exhale, we're gonna feel our ribs coming together a bit in the front, planting in the back. Our belly comes in, our low belly sinks, and we're gonna float one leg up to tabletop, right? So knee is right over the hip. And we're gonna start to circle. Hand on the thigh, just for a little bit of guidance. And start to circle this leg. And as we circle, we're making our circles fairly small, pretty controlled as well. We're gonna feel that our opposite leg is heavy into the hip. We're heavy into the ribs. We're feeling stable through the body. You're just allowing this leg to circle around. Nice big breaths in and out. Keeping our shoulder down to the ground. Now, if tabletop, meaning knee over the hip, knee and ankle in the same line, if that's not feeling so great, you can always let the foot kind of hang down, but still circle the leg, still circle that femur bone. You decide, there's no right or wrong with this, we're just working into the hip, right? And keep it going. We're gonna go a couple more in this direction. Nice big breaths in and out. And we're gonna go one more. All right, reverse. We're just getting everything kind of warmed up. Belly muscles are pulling up and in. You want that feeling like you're being wrapped from the front to the back, almost like you're wearing a seat belt, right? And let's go a couple more, and one more. And then allow this leg to come down, foot to the floor. Kind of shift your anchors a little bit. Let this side get a little heavier. Ribs are knitting. Opposite leg floats. Hand on the thigh, start to circle. And we're gonna keep that circle going. We're feeling relaxed into the upper body. Our chin is slightly nodded, so we've got the natural curve of that neck. We've got the natural curve of our low back. Keep it going. All right, let's go a couple more. Go one more, and then reverse. Opposite leg nice and stable. Imagine there's a cup of hot tea that sits on that knee. We don't want to spill it, right? So this femur bone is sunk into the socket. Belly muscles are pulling in. And we'll go one more time. All right, let that foot come to the floor. When it comes to the floor, do just a couple pelvic tilts. So we're going to feel a big, big dip on the low back as we press our tailbone into the floor. Now scoop the belly and lift the tailbone just slightly as if the pelvic bones are coming up to meet the ribs. And again, tipping and rounding, and we'll go a couple more. And we'll go one more time. All right, so we're gonna find our neutral pelvis in between those two extremes. We have our dip in the back. We're gonna keep it there. We're gonna drive into the heels. We're gonna lift the toes and the balls of the feet. Let's lift up to bridge, straight up. And then we'll fold and sink the feet. Do it again, lift and up to bridge, sink out bridge, and sink the feet. Keep it going, lift first, then up to bridge. Feel the fold at the hip, lower the feet. Now as we continue to lift to bridge, what we wanna feel is that as we press ourselves up, our ribs stay pretty stable, right? They don't want to pop up off the mat. They want to stay knitted in the front. And as we sink, we want to feel that we're landing right at the center of the pelvis, right? And sink the feet. Lift the feet up to bridge, fold out of bridge, sink the feet. Let's go a couple more. Up to bridge, reaching the knees, fold out of bridge, sink. One more. We're going to hold this one up to bridge. Bring the arms up above the chest. You've got about a basketball width in between. Keep driving into those heels. Fold and sink just 2 inches. Back up to bridge. Fold and sink. Lift. Fold and sink just 2 inches. Feel like we're coming up through thick mud. 2 more. and lift. One more time. And lift. Lower the feet, let the arms go up and over. Soften your chest. Peel yourself down all the way through. Find neutral pelvis. Sweep the arms. Now press into the balls of the feet. Lift the heels up to bridge. Sink it down. Sink the heels. Lift up to bridge. Fold out of bridge. Sink the heels. Lift and lift and sink and sink. Two more. Lift up. Fold and sink. Sink right back down. One more. And lift and sink and sink. Now lift the heels. Lift to bridge. Hold. Bring those arms up above the chest, settling into the sockets. Fold and sink just 2 inches. Back up to bridge. Fold and sink. Exhale. Start to feel your big toes pressing just a little bit. And lift. Sink it down. And lift. 2 more. Lift it up. 1 more. And lift. Lower the heels. Let the arms go up and over. Soften your chest. Peel yourself down bone by bone. Find your neutral spine. Sweep the arms. Drive back into those feet. Lift back up to bridge and hold. Arms come back up above the chest. We're going to press deep into our right heel, into our left shoulder blade. Hover the left foot just 1 inch. Sink it down. Switch. Plant into the left foot, the right blade. Hover the right foot. Sink it down. And again. Lift. And sink. Goal here, let's keep those ribs nice and heavy. Let's keep our belly muscles up and in. And sink. Find your opposite anchors. Lift. And sink. Shoulder blade to heel. Lift. Sink it down. 1 more. And sink. Now the next foot you hover, hold. Let the arms reach, let the leg reach. Pull it back in. Reach it out. Pull it back. 2 more. And back. 1 more. And back. Lower the foot. Hover the other. Big reach. Pull it back in. Reach it out. Inhale. Exhale back. And again. Reach. Pull it back in. 1 more. Nice big reach. All the way back. Lower that foot. Let the arms go up and over. Soften your chest. And peel yourself down all the way through. When you get yourself down, find that little dip. Sweep the arms. Let's grab your band. All right. So we're going to take this band around the left foot. One end of the band in each hand. You're going to take a breath. And when you exhale, press. Pull it back in. And press it out. And back. 2 more. Press. Right back in. 1 more press out. Hold. Take a breath. Float the other leg up to table. Sink it down. Try to keep the belly heavy. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. And sink. 1 more lift. Hold. Switch. Reach. And press. 1 knee in, 1 knee out, and back. You can do as many of these as you want. We're going to stop pretty soon. We're going to reach that long leg out, let it rest, send this leg all the way up to tall. When you get it up to tall, we're going to take both ends into our left hand, glide the leg open, sweep it down, cross it over, bring it back up, cross spine line over, and sweep. Right back up. And again, open, cross over, and come back up to tall. 1 more, over spine line, and sweep all the way up. Bend into that leg. Let's switch. 1 end of the band in each hand. We're going to press the leg out. Pull it back. Press it out. Pull it back. 2 more. And back. 1 more. Press it out. Hold. It's hovering off the floor. Draw your belly. Relax your shoulders. Float the other leg up. Sink it down. and lift. And sink. 2 more. Lift and sink. Hold your next one. Lift and hold. And switch. And press. Pull it in. And press. Keep it going. And press. 1 more. Reach. Let this leg come down. Let this one go all the way to tall. Both ends of the band over into the other hand. We're going to glide open and sweep and right back up. Now, challenge yourself. Try to keep both halves of your pelvis nice and stable, heavy to the floor. The body's not shifting, just the leg. And right back up. 1 more time. Cross and sweep all the way up. Bend the knee. Release that band. Let everything stretch. And then let's sweep those arms, and we're going to roll over onto your side. When we get onto the side, we're going to feel a folded elbow here. We're going to stack our bottom half up so that our pelvic bones are stacked, heels are lining up with our sitting bones, our ribs are back in space. And now let's start to clamshell. Lift and sink. And as the top leg lifts, bottom leg presses. We lift just to the point that our pelvic bones stay stacked and our ribs stay back. Lift and sink. And again, lift and sink. We're only going to go a couple more. You can do as many of these as you'd like until your side glutes feel like they're going to burn right off. We're going to go 1 more. And sink. Now keep those legs pressing together. Feet lift. Roll them back down. As we lift, your pelvic bones stay pretty stable. You're going to feel just the femur bones rolling in the sockets. Let's go a couple more. Lift and sink. 1 more. You're going to lift and hold this one. All right, feet are up, toes are fairly pointed. Clamshell open. And press. And lift. And press. We're feeling our belly muscles pulling in. Our ribs are slightly knitted. Shoulders roll, nice and relaxed. And press. And again. And sink. 2 more. Press it down. 1 more. And press. Lower the feet. Lengthen those legs out nice and long. Ankles and knees line up with the hips. We're balancing on our side waist. Let's take a breath, and as we exhale, lift the top leg. Sink it down. Bottom leg is pressing to support us. And as we lift this top leg, we're lifting just to the point that our pelvis doesn't shift. That's going to get the feeling we want in the side of our leg. Outer thigh muscles, side glute muscles. Lift and sink. Go just a couple more. Lift up. Trying not to let the pelvis come up to meet the ribs. 1 more. And sink. Both legs are together. Pelvis stays here. Both legs lift. Sink it down. Feel the belly pull in. Lift. And sink. Do a couple more. Lift. And sink. 1 more lift. Hold this one. Lower the bottom leg. Lift it back up. Sink. And lift. Go a couple more. Top leg stays stable. 1 more time. Lift and hold. Lower both. Bring them in and release. Let's go right to the other side. You're going to flip yourself over. We're going to come to our bent knee, folded elbow. Ribs are back in space. Feet are connected, and we'll start to clamshell. Sink it down. Clamshell up. And sink. Bottom leg presses, belly is in, ribs are back in space. Pelvic bones stay stacked. Sink it down and lift and sink. 2 more. And sink. 1 more. Sink it down. Clamp those knees together. Lift the feet. Sink them down. And again. And sink. 2 more. Lift and sink. We're going to hold the next one. Lift, hold. Top leg clamshell. Press it back. Thigh is pressing into the floor for stability. Belly is in. Top leg rotates again. And sink. 2 more. Sink it down. 1 more. And sink. Lower the feet. Stretch those legs out. Everybody lines up. Top leg lifts. Bottom leg anchors into the floor. Top leg lift. And sink. Couple more. Sink it down. 2 more. And sink. 1 more. And sink. Clamp those legs together. Both legs lift. And sink. Fingertips are here for a little support. Sink it down. And again, if you want to challenge yourself, hover your hand. Keep lifting. Bring it up above the chest. Keep lifting. Belly stays in. 1 more. And sink. Top leg comes up. Bottom leg sinks. Bring it back up. Sink it down. And back. 2 more. And back. 1 more. And back. Lower both legs. Bring in and release. All right, very good. All right, so that's it. You're probably pretty warmed up through those hips. All right, like and subscribe and come back for more videos.